Just making sure that I'm actually streaming. Dashboard. Yeah. Okay. Alright, welcome back everybody. We're here for part 2 of doing Roadsters here on the N64 quest. You know, there's not a lot that I've learned this week from, you know, playing a couple races here and there that we didn't kind of already find out just from like the first race that we did on Roadsters, which is that this game is certainly competent. It looks nice. Can I use this? No. It looks nice. It's got an okay amount of polish. But I would tell you, this game's boring as shit. I have like no reason in my brain to like keep playing this game because I keep playing races and I keep, you know, I'm trying to do the trophy mode, like the single player, and I'm gonna unlock cars and stuff, but like just doing the races is just, there's nothing exciting going on to me and it's kind of boring. So we're here for the first time in like probably 3 years of like real calendar time. I'm busting out the Mad Catz racing wheel, which I don't have a great way of setting up for me. This wheel is way too high, but if I put it down, it'll be like down and like my arms will be all the way stretched out. So I don't have a great way of using it, but just to do a little bit of making something a little bit more interesting, gonna do a race or two with the wheel here. I got my pedals down here on the floor. That's a whole pedal setup, which the cord just comes straight out of the back of it. So you'd either have to like anchor it to the floor yourself, or you have it pressed up against the bottom of the coffee table or whatever table you're doing, and press the cord into the back of it, which is always a great idea. So I also, as you might imagine, with the amount of like dust that'll get in there, the controller pack port on this does not work at all. It does. I don't even know if it worked in the first place because the controller pack will not go in this thing. So I have like a second controller plugged in with my controller pack in it. It's a whole mess of shit that's going on over here. But they won't let me. Then that's right. Oh no, there it is. Okay, I was like thinking, I'm like, they're not gonna let me because it's in the second controller. Holy shit. Yeah, I've tried bouncing around and stuff, doing quick races, doing different things. All right, let's just go. Let's just try it.
Get ready. Go.
Yeah, the steering wheel's way too high. I understand that. It's also because of the like whatever angle that you're gonna have on the pedals for your feet. It's way too steep, so like my leg isn't gonna be fully extended, and if it was, like the steering wheel would be too far away from me too. So like if I cared about these games on a regular basis and I like wanted to play this all the time with my wheel, I would have like a way of going about it that I've set up properly that is like actually comfortable. But I don't have that. I have a steering wheel that I bust out of the closet every 3 years because maybe it'll make the stream a little bit more interesting. So yeah, there's not going to be any switching my foot over to the brake because I basically have to pick up my whole foot to do that. I'm just going to be like letting off the gas whenever it's possible. And of course the wheels have the rumble built in, as you can probably hear, and it's I don't have a good way of setting up the microphone either because I need the microphone to be pointing at me and have a good amount of like range to pick me up because I'm only going to be back over here. That was a complete fucking spin out. I have not done anything like that. Oh shit.
Time to play. Time to play.
Okay. So we're obviously not winning this race. I did actually understand what reverse is on the regular controllers. You have to like hold Z and you know, press the accelerator. So that was a whole like thing going on there, because Z wouldn't work on the way that this is set up, because there's the buttons on the wheel are A, B, and Z, which are the three most common buttons that you're going to use. So it makes sense. But like, you also switch between digital and analog modes, because if I have this in analog mode, which is what would make sense, the pedals won't go on because they're tied to A and B, which are obviously, they're just digital buttons. They're not going to have a trigger to them. I don't actually know what the point would be of having the analog mode on here, because there's no way that you're going to be able to get anything that's actually analog other than the stick. Which I was worried. I assumed that you wanted analog to be the mode that you selected, because I assumed that the wheel was either going to be digital or analog control, so like the D-pad or the analog stick, and that just like wasn't what happened. Like, I think the wheel is always on the stick, which makes sense, because it's obviously not digital like right here. I have some semblance of touch to it. And this is the thing that's going on here, because they say they give you, forecast is rain after the first lap. So they want you to like pull into the pit. I understand that's actually going to be a factor in this game, now that I've actually played it and seen that part in action. But I'm not the planning type for these things, and that's why I don't like rally games for one thing. Like, I'm not going to be able to make myself practice the track before I actually do the race or anything like that. I do understand the appeal of the wheels though, now that I've got it in front of me. Like, if I had a good setup for this might be kind of cool to actually do on the wheel and everything. So now they'd assume that you're gonna like pull into the pit and like change your tires back, because it's pretty. I mean, there's a little bit of wetness on the road, but it's gonna dry up probably by the time the race ends. So I think that's what they're going for. It's just not the type of features that are going to interest me in a game. Like, I think that the appropriate comparison really is Beetle Adventure Racing, because Beetle Adventure Racing, the cars aren't even half as exciting as the cars that you might be driving in here. Like, these are all pretty high-end stuff. Like, I'm driving... What am I driving? Let's figure what I did. But I will say that the cars that seem to be winning every race is a Lotus Elise. Like, I should have picked that one apparently, because it's the best car. They don't just make it win, they like, just to spite me, like, or to be random about it. It's clearly, there's some sort of advantage to picking that car when you start out.
Coming up to the pit.
Or else the computers that are driving you would be winning 3 races in a row and coming in second to the other. Okay, since I obviously have no chance of winning this, what I'd rather do is go into quick race and do another race and try out a different car, which they won't let you do any of the like anything higher than this one. Like,
the best there is.
You're still stuck doing category C cars until you unlock them, which is kind of a bummer, but I understand it. And I think there's only like, I think there's really only these couple tracks, so it looks like 6 or 7. That doesn't look like I want to do that. Alright, so I'm gonna do this one. And maybe it was the Alfa Romeo I picked. Hey, the Z button actually works here though. But yeah, let's take the Lotus. Drive. Maybe yellow? I'll take a yellow Lotus. Insert a rumble pack unless you're using the wheel. I'm just gonna vibrate for you the whole time to let you know how bad you are.
Go!
Alright, let's go. Oh my god. Cannot be in any part of the pack here because I'm gonna like not have a solid grip on my direction. I'm just gonna bump into everybody and make a mess like that. Oh, Jesus. Really what this game does make me want to do, especially now that I've got the wheel out, because I'd like to try that. I do want to play Beetle Adventure Racing again. Really seriously great game with a lot of great track design. Lots of fun. I'm just not that interested. It's just not very exciting to me to even be playing the game the way it is. You know, it looks nice. I give them that. I heard a lot of good things about the graphics before saying this is one of the best looking games. I'm gonna pick Rogue Squadron every day. Not just for the, you know, the game being one of my favorite games on the system, but because I do think it's the best looking game on the N64. It's just fantastic. Like, that's my gold standard. But I see what people are saying. It looks pretty good. Remember what we have coming up next, because we're almost done with 1999. We just have a little bit of cleanup to do to finish out like that holiday season. Like if you've been following this at all, especially recently, you know that Donkey Kong 64, I made that like the big one. That's the big going out strong. Like I didn't make it the last one on purpose. There are other games from the rest of 1999. But it's like that one and then mostly a bunch of like I said, cleanup. Bang out a couple more games. Like Roadsters. One that I know is coming up is Toy Story 2. I'm pretty excited about that, actually, because I've not played that game since I was a kid. And I'm a big fan of it, so. I don't think that's next, though. I think it's maybe the one after the next game. Once this race is over and we put Roadsters to bed here, I was like, should have taken my foot off the gas there, obviously, but only kind of half paying attention. It's a very sleepy, like, yeah, let's get through this. It's like my commute every day. Like, do you think I remember every part of the 12 miles that I drive straight on the same road? I pretty much blink through it, like. But yeah, I gotta check what the next game is before we sign off today. Then I have to put this thing away. I don't even want to play a game with it, like, because it's already out. I just want to put it away again. There's a whole fucking big old mess of stream setup that I had to do today. With 2 controllers, one of them is the wheel, the microphone. I made it sound worse. I mean, I didn't make it sound worse than it is, because it still looks like shit, like, out here, but I can't, like, accurately describe to you how shitty it is to have to have taken this thing out. Put it back in the back of the closet. My arms are getting tired, honestly, because like I said, the wheel is so high. There was no positioning that wasn't going to tire my arms out for this wheel, because it was either going to be way up high or way down low and stretched out either way. Let's just get across this finish line and end this.
Race is over.
Oh, apparently they thought I wanted to go in the pit. I thought they were literally telling me, like, oh, it's over. Whew, okay. Yeah. That's Roadsters. It's also on the Dreamcast if you want to do that to yourself. You might like this type of game. I don't know. This is not my bag at all. So anyway, that puts us at, oh my god, it really was cleanup, wasn't it? Because it was Rainbow Six, which is not my type of game. Roadsters, not my type of game. And next up is Nuclear Strike, which is going to be interesting. I think that port came out like 2 years after it came out on PS1. And I'm not going to tell you that's not real. It's not entirely my type of game, but depending on how much Rainbow Six basically is in it, we'll see. And then it's so it's Nuclear Strike, Xena Talisman of Fate, which is actually I think another Titus game. Let's see how they do with that. Toy Story 2, and I don't know if it starts off 2000 or if it ends 99, but Space Invaders. Because I know the one after that, Castlevania Legacy of Darkness, is a January 2000 release. So yeah, it's 4 or 5 more games to get us through 1999. It's Nuclear Strike, Xena Talisman of Fate, Toy Story 2, or excuse me, it's either 3 or 4 more games. Nuclear Strike, Xena, Toy Story 2, and Space Invaders. So thank you for watching. I'm gonna go clean all this shit up and then do nothing because it's snowing out. I might do something else this afternoon for streaming, but it won't be this. So we'll see where we get with that. Thank you. Bye-bye.